What happened to Jimmy Butler? Warriors superstar suffers gruesome injury in Game 2 versus Rockets. Jimmy Butler went down with an injury in the first quarter of Game 2 of the 2025 NBA playoffs. The Golden State Warriors faced a stern Houston Rockets test, and Butler was one of the players taking the brunt of Houston's physicality as he landed heavily on his backside after colliding with Amen Thompson. The veteran forward was on the floor writhing in pain and later left the floor. As he headed to the locker room, early into the second quarter, reports poured in that was out for the remainder of the game with a pelvic contusion. Butler had 3 points and 2 rebounds while shooting 1-2 from the field in his 8 minutes. He is now replaced by Jonathan Kuminga. In related news, Brandin Podziemski, stomach illness, is listed as questionable as well, after he looked worse for the wear in the first quart. Jimmy Butler likely to undergo MRI after suffering pelvic contusion. In the updates that followed, The Athletic's Anthony Slater reported that Jimmy Butler was expected to undergo an MRI after his pelvic contusion. He added that the team stars Steph Curry and Jonathan Kuminga suffered similar injuries and missed time. MRI expected tomorrow for Jimmy Butler, per source. Warriors have dealt with a couple of these pelvic contusions recently after similar falls from Steph Curry and Jonathan Kuminga. Curry missed 2 games. Kuminga missed 1. Then it became a pain management issue. The Warriors struggled without Butler on both ends of the floor. His ability to create half-court offense and play hard on defense were notable absences, as Golden State was forced to play catch-up for the remainder of the game. At the time of writing, there's no word on Butler's status for Games 3 and 4, with the action moving to the Warriors' home turf. Coach Steve Kerr on Warriors rotations if Jimmy Butler is out for an extended time.
Butler injured, did not return. Steve Kerr at the podium to discuss those things and more for the Warriors.
Tim, just what were the emotions as you saw? Well, Brandin wasn't feeling great, and then Jimmy go down, right? Kind of in a real quick succession there. What were you thinking? What was that emotion like?
There's really no time to even feel any emotion. You just respond and react with what you have to do in terms of, making a sub and trying to think about new substitution patterns, who you want to pair together, all that kind of stuff. So obviously feel terrible for Jimmy. Hopefully he's okay. We'll see. He's going to get an MRI tomorrow. And BP, really proud of him for making the effort. He's been feeling terrible all day, and he tried. He got an IV at halftime, just didn't have it. So tough night. We'll bounce back.
Talk to Jimmy at all?
Yeah.
Are you optimistic, or are you just kind of?
Jimmy always says he's going to be fine. But we have to wait to see with the MRI.
What did you think of the foul, or how he went down? Did you think it was in?
I haven't seen the replay. I asked our guys behind the bench, and they just said it looked like there was some physicality on the rebound, and I think Thompson just inadvertently found himself underneath Jimmy just based on the tug of war that was going on there. So we didn't think there was anything wrong with the play. It's just one of those plays.
What did you generally think of just kind of the physicality and tension that seems to be rising in the series?
Yeah, Houston played great. They were really physical. Just like we expected, they came out with amazing force defensively. And obviously Green got going, and that loosened our defense up quite a bit. And so it was their night. They played a great game at both ends of the floor, and so we just got to lick our wounds and back to work tomorrow.
You got Steve. You got pretty hot in the first quarter. Got pretty contentious. What were you talking about there? What was your?
Just the usual stuff. It's playoff time. Everybody's hyped up. I think I was mad because Gary got tripped. Gary had a dunk clearly got tripped, and I thought there should have been a foul called, and it wasn't. But the stuff happens, and I thought tonight's game was all about guys and amazing. It is what it is.
That's something that you guys talk about prior to
I'm sorry?
That's something you guys talk to Draymond about prior to the games.
That's all part of it. I would prefer, if fans could use a little more discretion and, remember that, the guy has kids and, it's like there's kids. I don't know. Maybe I'm old school, but I'm all for the fans cheering for their team. And if they want to yell at the opponents, great. But I just think FU it's a little much.
Steve, after Jimmy went out, did you notice the Warriors maybe keying on Steph a little bit, or what did you notice from how they defended you?
After Jimmy went out?
After Jimmy went out.
Well, they were keyed on Steph anyway. They're going to be really aggressive. They're going to blitz him. Obviously, we've got to be able to counter that. We had too many turnovers against that pressure. So they were blitzing him, and they got the ball out of his hands a little bit, and we weren't able to counter and generate enough good offense to win the game.
Obviously, you've always got to be ready to play, even if you're out of the rotation. Did you feel like Jonathan was ready? What did you see from him?
Yeah, Jonathan was ready. He's been great. He's been preparing every single day, keeping a great attitude. Game one, he was on the bench cheering the entire time. He's a great young guy. JK's an awesome young guy, and his teammates respect him and pull for him. And he stayed ready and got some minutes, and it's good because we may need him, and he needed to develop a little rhythm after missing the last few games.
Specifically, if Jimmy is out or limited, is Kuminga the natural next kind of guy into the rotation?
We'll see how it all plays out. I mean, we have to. If Jimmy's out, we have to rethink, everything like rotations and who starts and the best combinations and all that stuff.
Kind of following up on that, I mean, obviously Jimmy's a great, invaluable player, but how does your dynamic change, and how will it have to change if he can't play in Game 3?
I think it's just too early for me to even talk about that. We have to watch the film, and we have to figure out, what our plan would be. This is the playoffs. This is, it's an incredibly physical sport. Stuff happens, people get injured, and it's all part of it. And there's no time to lament anything. You can feel bad for your player, but you have to move on to what's next. And, so that's hopefully Jimmy will be able to play, but if not, then we've got to go through our options and put together a plan.
Having rewatched the film, what did you think of how they defended Steph?
How they defended Steph? Well, they were physical with him, blitzed him quite a bit. He got himself into a couple of spots where he got into trouble with the dribble, but he's Steph Curry. I mean, he's just amazing what he's able to play through, physicality, blitzing, trapping, all that stuff. So he did a great job. We just didn't have enough tonight.
What did you think of your guys' competitive level? You got Pat Spencer jumping in with 9 points.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Do you think there was a fight shown by you guys?
No, it was a great fight by our guys. I thought Loon came in, gave us really good minutes. For Pat to just come off the bench and give us some offense and generate some good possessions. Quentin Post knocking down some threes. I thought our guys really fought, and it's a 10-point game after the first quarter. That's when they really kind of punched us in the mouth, and we hung in there. We didn't make it all the way back, but we competed and we hung in there, and proud of the guys.
Did that put you guys in?
Well, we wanted two, but we didn't get two. We got one, and they're a hell of a team. They're the 2 seed for a reason, and so it's a good trip. Not a great trip, but it's a good trip, and excited to get home and play in front of our home crowd.
Steve, was Gary okay? Because it looked like he was stretching out his back on the sideline.
I don't know. Yeah. Thanks.